Hi everyone, my name is Jen Alfredson and I work for the CARS department. I work for the CCS program, which is part of Milwaukee County BHD. And I'm here today to give you a really quick training. I'm going to try to keep it close to 6 minutes. And today's training is going to be a tour around SharePoint. So essentially SharePoint is like a private website. You have to have an invitation to be a user of our CCS SharePoint. We use this site to store and organize and share a ton of information. So since every SharePoint user needs to be invited, if you are watching this video, you've already been invited, which your CCS supervisor took care of. People have either member access or visitor access. Only MHPs and administrators have the member access and they can edit on the SharePoint and the visitors can look at everything. So let's take a quick tour around SharePoint. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the SharePoint. And there it is. So this is what the SharePoint looks like. I'm going to point you over to the left-hand side. This is your menu. Anytime you get a little lost on SharePoint, just come back and click Home. I'm going to point out a really important feature, and that is your documents list. Just click documents on the left-hand side. It brings up a whole bunch of folders and a whole bunch of documents that you will need to do your job. Please take a tour of this yourself. Please click on folders and check things out what's in here. I will point out to you that if you look here, there's an intake folder, a 6-month review folder, and an annual review folder. All the forms that you need to conduct those reviews are there, plus there's instructional sheets and there's checklists. Also, discharge folder. There's a PowerPoint to teach you how to do a discharge and all the forms that you'll need. So please check those out. Another important document I want to bring to your attention is the CCS FAQ document. These are frequently asked questions. They are very helpful. Please go to this document when you have a question. It could really point you in the right direction and without having to ask somebody the question. And really great reminders. Another really important document here is the CCS interventions. This is where you're going to go to copy and paste the intervention into your RPOC. This document does have several tabs on the bottom: non-CCS funded, bundled services, individual services, and group services. So that's a very important document. So going back to the menu bar, I'm going back to click Home. I'm going to show you some lists that are also really important parts of SharePoint. There's one list in particular that's probably the most important thing that we have on here, and it's the CCS Adult Provider Directory. So this list is very long. There are hundreds of people on this list. If you start scrolling down, it seems to go forever. So the important thing to do with this list is to use filters and sorting to narrow this list down. So the list does include a column to tell us if this staff person is accepting new referrals, and the service type, any specialties, what agency they work for, what's their service category. These are all important things. So let's just say I'm looking for somebody who is going to be a housing specialist. The formal CCS service category would be independent skill developer. So I'm going to click on CCS service category, filter by, choose individual skill development, and then I'm just going to apply that. And now I've narrowed down to just individual skill development. But you will notice that there's still a lot of people on this list, okay? So I'm looking for a housing specialist. So what I need to do is to filter again. This time I'm going to go to service type and filter again, and this time I'm going to choose housing and apply. Now I've really narrowed down. Now I don't have that many people on my list. It's much shorter. But I really only need to see the people who are accepting referrals at this moment. So I'm going to go click on accepting new referrals and get that sorted yes to no so that the yeses are on top. So at this point, I now have gotten myself to a place where I only have about 5 people on my list. Okay, so the provider directory is really big, but if you use filter and sorting, you can get it narrowed down. You can also export your list out to Excel and then you can delete rows. Once it's exported, you can do a save as, save it on your own computer, and then you can do some further sorting with that list in case you need to take something on paper out to visit a consumer. But you can always sit with your consumer and your laptop open and do this sorting and look through the options as well if somebody is looking for a provider. So there are a couple other lists over here on the menu. There's a list of group services, there's agency information. So there are some good lists over here. Check them out, okay? The last thing I'm going to point out to you are the links. Over here on the right-hand side, we have a bunch of links that are helpful, including the Wisconsin Recovery Thermometer, policies and procedures, DHS 36, the training videos are all right here on the SharePoint. So hopefully you will find this useful. Thank you so much.